Here we are on Clothesline, the show where we wring them clean, string them up and put them to dry on the clothesline. You know we don't have big resources. We're trying to grow, and that's all because many of you are subscribing to News Laundry and helping us do more stuff. In fact, our intrepid reporter Arnab just traveled to Rampur to get the lowdown on a story that was reported completely differently by media outlets. We thought jaake dekhe, मामला है क्या, and get you a first-hand on-ground report, since Rampur is just around 200 kilometers from here. But can only do that if you support us. But here's one story we just don't have the money and resources to get you any clarity on. So many versions कि पता नहीं सच क्या है. In fact, so clueless is the mainstream media that two channels of the same network are saying completely different things. He's back, but where did Rahul Gandhi go? After reams of newsprint on how Rahul Gandhi is irrelevant in politics, when he did return, his irrelevance was demonstrated by news channels' breathless coverage over what time he stepped out of the airport, what he wore, that he picked up 2 puppies who he put into his car and didn't run over because puppy गाड़ी के अंदर रखने से सुख होता है और नीचे आने से दुख. But where was he? Let's see what NDTV had to say when he left and when he returned.
He reportedly took a flight to Munich on Tuesday and from there flew to Greece.
आज फिर जगदीश शर्मा हमारे साथ हैं और उनका आज भी ये कहना है कि वो देश में ही थे.
Same channel with 2 very different sources with a margin of error of around 5,000 kilometers. Sweet. Then there was Headlines Today, who tweeted out this image claiming Rahul went to Bangkok. And you know what they say about Bangkok, right?
Bangkok has him now.
But just like the stars of Hangover, Rahul did return. So what did the over-the-top coverage of Rahul's trip show us? That unless those in the mainstream news media get a tip-off from some friend, relative or source inside a party or organization, their investigative skills are zero. Just terrible. And dear politicians, if you haven't figured this out already, here's a tip. Newswallas can be sent on any wild goose chase. In their rush to break news, tell them anything and they'll go with it, as long as you are a source. Observe.
सूत्रों के अनुसार जो खबर मिली है, राहुल गांधी इस वक्त म्यांमार में हैं.
सूत्र बता रहे हैं कि राहुल गांधी थाईलैंड में हैं.
He reportedly took a flight to Munich on Tuesday and from there flew to Greece.
Rahul Gandhi cooling his heels in Uttarakhand.
क्या यार News Laundry reporters, तुम भी कोई छोड़ देते फतूरा. After all, it's not like it has to be credible or anything. But the man who got the worst deal from Rahul's sabbatical was Sanjay Jha. You know, ever since the UPA lost and NDA formed the government, Sanjay Jha had been replaced by Sambit Patra as Arnab's punching bag. This was the UPA days.
Did you want all the scientists in that room today to wear t-shirts which say Courtesy Manmohan Singh? Would that have made you happy? You know how petty this looks? You are talking of pettiness tonight?
Not at all.
You should apologize tonight to the people of this country for talking like that.
You listen to me, Sanjay Jha. Don't teach me what is positive and what is negative.
And this is now in NDA days.
Mr. Patra, don't talk about community. Don't bring religion into
why
this.
not?
Don't teach me Hinduism. Hinduism does not mean violence.
Although you must admit, Sambit gets the better of Arnab purely because he can go from arrogance to, poor me, the world is so mean to me, everyone hates me, no one loves me, I'm going to eat some worms faster than you can say Patra.
You
Patra.
don't want me, I will not participate. Senior people like you all cannot get personal on a young person. Who am I to threaten you?
Artosh, 15 minutes on the debate.
You yourself claim that this is the best channel. What if we want to come in your channel? All I desire is a 50-second time slot.
But the day Rahul came back, Arnab decided to give Sanjay Jha the old UPA treatment for old time's sake.
Mr. Jha, go back and watch the tape on how you behaved. If you try it once more, I will ask you to leave the program. Did you hear me?
Oh yeah, I heard you.
What am I saying?
What?
I am saying you misbehave once more, you cross the limit once more. I will just ask you to walk out of the program. Do you get that clear? I will throw you out of the program.
No. Now that's crude, Arnab. Even you've got to draw the line somewhere. Or you're just a bully who picks on the not so powerful. How come you never threatened to throw this guy out in spite of this?
Don't be stupid. You're an ignorant man. Where is the letter, you liar?
One second. Mr. Rajashekaran is coming in.
और मुझे लगता है कि आपके अगर यही सवाल होंगे तो हम लोग इंटरव्यू बंद करते हैं. बीच में मत बोलिए. मुझे पूरा करने दीजिए.
But typical of the media. pick on those who can't punch back.
No, why don't you leave the program then? Mr. Poonawalla, I think you can leave the program now. Please leave the program. Can I request you to leave the screen, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Sundays when you pick up any English newspaper and you'll have columnists giving gyan about anything under the sun. The same old Gisapita names who have dominated op-ed pages for decades. But the one that is worthy of comment is Karan Thapar's. So here's what he says, in quotes. What has Mr. Modi got against ties? Is it okay for the Prime Minister to dress inappropriately?
I beg your pardon. That is so desi. Allow me. What has Mr. Modi got against ties? Is it okay for the Prime Minister to dress inappropriately? And is this a subject suitable for public comment? These are the three questions I wish to tackle this Sunday morning.
Aur kuch nahi mila. So you're giving advice to Modi on what to wear. And you're accusing him of having something against ties.
Indeed. Do you not serve tea and muffin?
You, Karan, red bow tie Thapar, want Modi to wear a tie. You have done more harm to ties than Modi has done to monogrammed suits.
Bow ties, I'd like to inform you, madam, and you, the viewer, are the precursor of neckties and an innovation of cravats. Traditional, but not old-fashioned and red.
If you want to be really proper, Karan, proper dress for courts and public appearances, since you follow British rules, is satin bloomers, silky tights and bright shoes with buckles.
But that's casuals for early supper. After Seville Raw Taylor, then.
Well, if Narendra Bhai can hold forth on secularism, Rahul on the problems of poor farmers, I guess Mr. Thapar can write on great dressing. Hi, Narendra Bhai. Pinstripe suit, monogram suit will be better. So when Rahul did return, he decided to make his presence felt with a rally for poor people like chota-mota farmers. Well, we don't know how many farmers came from around the country, but we didn't see this one small farmer there. Had hai. Bichara shed dhaan kaat raha hoga. You know, they had a rally for farmers and they didn't call you.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes, I am serious. Rahul bravely tried to make sense of the dangers of the Land Acquisition Act or the Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act at the rally, while the rest of us non-farmers sat at home and watched on TV. Here's what we got.
आज हिंदुस्तान में किसान और मजदूर घबराया हुआ है। किसान को लग रहा है कि हिंदुस्तान की सरकार किसान को और मजदूर को भूल चुकी है। अगर आपने ये जमीन उद्योगपति को दे दी तो हमारा यहाँ कोई भविष्य नहीं रहेगा।
Wow! What a performance! What a star! Congress really built up this rally. You know, like before Pink Floyd comes on, you have a few small-time local bands perform to warm up the crowd. Or for your generation, before Russell Peters or Seinfeld comes on, you have some local small-time acts to warm up the crowd. Similarly, before Rahul came on to deliver the performance of the afternoon, they had just Veer Jassi and Manmohan Singh to warm up the crowd.
मोदी सरकार को आए तकरीबन 1 वर्ष होने वाला है। इन 11 महीनों में मोदी जी ने देश के लोगों को और खासकर किसानों को कई सब्ज बाग दिखाए। पिछली सरकार इस मौके पर किसानों का हाथ पकड़ती रही है, लेकिन मोदी सरकार है कि इस बारे में उसको कोई फिक्र ही नहीं।
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I agree. Are you serious? Manmohan Singh ji? Yeah, we know Rahul won't get the kind of response Russell Peters would get. At least not intentionally, but getting Manmohan Singh as the warm-up act? What were you thinking, Congress? It's the beginning of Delhi's summer. People are lethargic and hot and ready to pass out. Many farmers are contemplating suicide, and you bring on Manmohan Singh to push them over the edge? No wonder the crowd started clearing out. And Manmohan ji, what about you? So many have sympathized with you. Remember what Rahul thought about your ordinance?
My opinion on the ordinance is that it's complete nonsense and that it should be torn up and thrown out.
And yet, like a wafadar sevak, you land up on demand. Sorry, Bauji, but even sympathy has to be earned. I know you might find it hard to say, but you know what, Bauji?
Sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck?
And you, Bauji, crossed that point years ago. After Manmohan ji warmed the crowd up, Rahul tried to break down the Land Acquisition Act without much success. So I figured, if Rahul can try, hum bhi try karte hain. The Land Acquisition Act of 1894 allowed the government to acquire any privately owned lands. Just like that. No justification. After all, it was put in place by the British. They owned India. So, now, would you believe that this 1894 Act was still in use until 2007 when the Congress-led government brought in amendments to it?
हम आपके साथ खड़े रहे थे, लेकिन हम आपसे पूछना चाहते हैं, 1894 में जो कानून बना, उसकी कमियां देखते देखते आपको 2013 आ गया क्या? 120 साल बीत गया। 60 साल तक ये देश के किसान उसी कानून के भरोसे जीते थे जो 1894 में बना था। अगर किसानों का बुरा हुआ तो किसके कारण हुआ?
Yeah, really? What were you doing all these years, I want to ask the Congress party. In 2013, just 1 year before the election, the UPA government brought in the Rehabilitation and Resettlement Bill to replace the Land Acquisition Act. Now, nobody can possibly be against development. But what if that means 75% of Indians live in fear of being pushed to lose their homes, lands and livelihoods? Because let's face it, it has happened before, no? Those in power get whatever land they want, however they want. It's not an unreasonable fear.
Vadra acquired vast tracts of land illegally in Haryana. Vadra also acquired land in Rajasthan with the help of Ashok Gehlot.
In 1953, possibly before most of you were born, Bimal Roy made the film Do Bigha Zameen. It is now 2015. And you tell me, what has changed?
वाह, आइडियल सिचुएशन। चलिए ठाकुर साहब, आपके दौलत खाना पर चल के बातें करेंगे।
Or, in today's context,
सेक्टर 30 प्लॉट नंबर 32 है, वो असल में हमारा है जी।
वो आपका है? आपका है तो ले लो।
Yes, real estate and other businessmen's mouths are watering at the prospect of taking over any land they choose.
ये जमींदार जी की मोटर आज यहाँ कहाँ? इन्हीं दिनों यहाँ इनकी मोटर को पहले भी 2-1 बार देखा है। जमींदार जी के साथ जो 2-3 आदमी हैं, वो शहरी मालूम होते हैं। तब तो जादव ठीक ही कहता था। जमींदार जी यहाँ एक मिल बनाना चाहते हैं। ये क्या एक नई मुसीबत?
In order to encourage industrial growth with the new land bill, the government has done away with the difference between what were earlier called public sector projects and what are private sector projects or PPPs. Now it won't be only the government that will be able to claim your land.
तब तो हम सबको खेती-बाड़ी हटानी पड़ेगी।
Yes, we've been told repeatedly that all will be rehabilitated and jobs will be created with the industrial and infrastructure building push. But think about this. The draft of the government's national policy for rehabilitation stated that around 75% of the displaced people since 1951, yes, 1951, are still awaiting rehabilitation.
अरे भाई, जमीन जमींदार जी की, वो जो चाहे सो करें, हम उन्हें कैसे रोक सकते हैं?
Please grab that feeling of historical helplessness in the face of power and money. The farmers couldn't stop them then, and 62 years later, can they stop any powerful person from taking their land now?
Are you serious? Are you serious?
सारी जमीन तो जमींदार जी की नहीं है। बीच का ये 2 बीघे का टुकड़ा तो शंभू का है। शंभू अगर अपनी जमीन न बेचे तो यहाँ मिल बन ही नहीं सकती। क्यों रे शंभू, तू बेचेगा अपनी जमीन? पागल हो गया हो क्या? मैं अपनी जमीन कभी नहीं बेचूंगा। जमीन तो किसान की माँ है हजूर, माँ को बेच दूं?
No farmers wanted to give up their land then, and no farmer wants to give it up now. पर इस देश में और इस दुनिया में हकीकत क्या है?
नहीं बेचेगा, अजी उसका बाप बेचेगा। जाएगा कहाँ? उसकी चोटी तो मेरे हाथ में है।
The powerful have the cultural confidence of always getting what they want.
अजी नहीं, वो तो मेरी मुट्ठी में है। मैं आज ही सब बंदोबस्त किए देता हूँ।
In the earlier bill, 80% of the owners had to give their consent before it could be acquired. That clause has been done away with. No consent will be required for special economic zones, large irrigation projects, power plants and waterways. This includes PPPs, could be a storage plant, an educational institute, a tourism project, a healthcare establishment. So what is the government promising us?
मिल लगने से ये गांव-गांव नहीं रहेगा, शहर बन जाएगा। घर-घर में बिजली के लैंप लगेंगे, सर पर पंखे फर-फर करेंगे। हाँ, कितने ही मेम और साहब यहाँ आया करेंगे।
Only difference today is that they're called smart cities.
तुझे खुशखबरी सुनाने के लिए बुलाया है। क्या खुशखबरी है हजूर? मैंने तय किया है कि गांव का रूप ही बदल दूं। यहाँ एक मिल लगवाऊंगा, तमाम रास्ते पक्के बनवा दूंगा, घर घर बिजली की बत्तियां जला करेंगी, तुम सबकी भलाई होगी।
हजूर हमारे माए बाप हैं, आप हमारी भलाई ना करेंगे तो और कौन करेगा।
मगर ये सब तुम लोग समझते कहाँ हो, फिर भी इन सब में तू समझदार है। ले जरा अंगूठे का निशान तो लगा दे इस कागज पे।
इसमें क्या लिखा है हजूर?
अरे कुछ नहीं, वही गोपीपुर में मेरी जमीन के साथ लगती हुई जो तेरी 2 बीघा जमीन है वो मुझे चाहिए, वही मैं मिल लगवा रहा हूं। ले अंगूठा लगा दे झट से। इसके बदले में जो मैंने कर्जा तुझे दिया है वो सब माफ कर दूंगा।
मैं आपका सारा कर्जा चुका दूंगा, थोड़ी सी मोहलत दीजिए हजूर।
मुझे गरजमंद समझकर कस रहा है। अच्छा ठीक है, कर्जे की माफी के अलावा कुछ रुपए और भी दे दूंगा।
जमीन तो किसान की माँ है हजूर, माँ को बेच दूं?
अबे रहने दे, जमीन पर मिल लग जाने से माँ बाप बन जाएगी। जमीन से तुझे क्या मिलता है? मिल में मजदूरी करके भरपेट खाएगा, आराम की नींद सोएगा।
हजूर पेड़ को मिट्टी से उखाड़ कर सोने में लगा दे तो क्या वो बच सकता है?
अरे बड़ी बड़ी बातें रहने दे, तेरे ही भले की कह रहा हूं। अंगूठा लगा दे।
नहीं हजूर, जमीन मैं नहीं बेचूंगा।
क्या क्या कहा? नहीं बेचेगा?
नहीं।
अरे मेरा कहा न मानकर अपने ही हाथों अपना सत्यानाश करने पर क्यों तुला हुआ है?
जमीन चले जाने पर ही तो किसान का सत्यानाश हो जाता है हजूर, और फिर उस जमीन पर तो हमारा 7 पीढ़ी पुराना मकान है। नहीं हजूर, जमीन तो मैं किसी हालत में नहीं बेच सकता।
ये मजाल, इतनी जुर्रत? अच्छा तो कल तक मेरी सारी रकम मैं सूद के चुका जाओ।
कल तक? 4 दिन तो दीजिए सरकार।
काफी मोहलत दे चुका हूं, तुम लोग शराफत से पेश आने के काबिल ही नहीं।
मेहरबानी कीजिए सरकार,
ये मेरा आखिरी फैसला है, निकल जाओ यहाँ से।
सरकार दया कीजिए, सरकार सरकार सरकार।
In the film Do Bigha Zameen, Shambhu loses his land in the end. But that's just a film and not reality. Of course it's all fiction and cannot happen today. Right. And let's not forget, India is a democratic country, governed by laws and an upright judiciary. Farmers could always go to court to get justice.
लेकिन मुद्दाइल शंभू महतो कोई भी ऐसा सबूत पेश नहीं कर सका जिसमें मुद्दई ठाकुर हरनाम सिंह का दावा झूठा साबित हो सके। इसलिए अदालत की राय में शंभू महतो को यह कर्ज चुकाना ही पड़ेगा, मगर उसकी माली हालत को देखते हुए अदालत उसे 3 महीने की मोहलत देती है। अगर इस अरसे में भी शंभू महतो सारा रुपया न चुका दे तो ठाकुर हरनाम सिंह उसकी जमीन जायदाद नीलाम करा लेने के हकदार।
दया कीजिए हजूर, इतनी कम मोहलत में मैं सारा रुपया कैसे चुका सकूंगा? मेरा बुढ़ा बाप है हजूर, मेरा छोटा सा बच्चा है, अब सब भूखे मर जाएंगे हजूर। इस जमीन के सिवा मेरे पास कुछ भी नहीं है हजूर।
In this new bill, if an offence is committed by a government official or the head of the department, then he or she cannot be prosecuted without the prior sanction of the central government. This gives a green light to corruption, which you cannot challenge.
लेकिन आज के किसान नहीं रहे, सब आदमी बन गए हैं। चोटी कटाकर भाग जाएंगे और आपके हाथ में कटी चुड़िया ही रह जाएगी ठाकुर साहब।
As Ratan Tata said when he spoke about Mukesh Ambani's towering, lavish home/building, he said, "That's what revolutions are made of." And no, he didn't mean the Antilla design is revolutionary.
The Tata Group chief has taken a dig at Reliance Industries chief Mukesh Ambani's wealth. He said, and I quote him now, "It makes me wonder why someone would do that. The person who lives in there should be concerned about what he sees around him and ask how he can make a difference. If he's not, then it is sad because India needs people to allocate some of their enormous wealth to finding ways to mitigate the hardship that people have."
What do we have today?
अधिग्रहण की बात हो तो आपको 80% की अनुमति चाहिए और 80% से कम अनुमति होगा तो मुश्किल है, क्योंकि गांव के पूरा जो इम्पैक्ट है उसके बारे में कम से कम 80% को बात करना पड़ेगा। लेकिन लीज हो ये प्रॉब्लम से आप मुक्त हो जाते हैं। हरियाणा में आप जाकर देखिए, बहुत सारे कंपनियों ने हजारों एकड़ जमीन 22 लाख रुपया में ले लिया और 22 लाख का ही जमीन अब 1.5 करोड़ रुपया में कंपनी लीज कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
1 एकड़ जमीन आपने 22 लाख में ले लिया और वही जमीन उसी किसान के आंख के सामने आप 1.5 करोड़ में दूसरे कंपनियों को 30 साल के लिए लीज कर रहे हैं, तो इससे बड़ा अन्याय क्या हो सकता है?
If you still have trouble understanding the new land bill, you should have watched the show on CNN IBN where News Laundry's very own Anand Ranganathan, or Ranga Uncle, went prepared to break it down for you.
I think it is good that this country is finally getting a land acquisition bill. The last one was 1894.
Yeah.
It's taken 100 odd years. Now what has BJP done? It has done some good tweaking, but alongside it has made 11 amendments, out of which 4 are atrocious tweaking.
Missed it? Never mind, catch it online. Why are we urging you to watch another news house's videos? Because we appreciate quality when we see it, even if we're appreciating our own nose to pretty up the IBN face. Now off to Paris, France, which was one of the stops for Prime Minister Modi's 3-nation tour. So what does Z News decide to do? This.
मेरे साथ में यहाँ पर नलनी जी हैं, जो कि यहाँ पर पिछले कई साल से हैं, और रामा, ये दोनों आपको पेरिस की खूबसूरती दिखाएंगे, साथ ही साथ इस सेन नदी का इतिहास बताएंगे.
Ooh, I love learning about the history of cities and famous rivers and landmarks. Let's see.
ये नदी के बारे में, ये इसको कहते हैं रिवियर सैन. पेरिस का फेमस नदी है जो यहाँ से लेकर कहाँ तक जाता है, काफी दूर तक जाता है.
हैं? काफी दूर तक? What the? काफी दूर तक तो कानून के हाथ भी जाते हैं, लेकिन कहाँ?
इनके ब्रिज कितने सालों पुराने भी हैं. इनके हर एक कहानी यहाँ ब्रिजेस का, हर एक ब्रिजेस का नाम भी है.
हाँ जी हाँ, हमारी नदियों में तो ब्रिज होते ही नहीं. दिल्ली वाले जो ट्रांस यमुना रहते हैं, वो जमुना तैर के ऑफिस जाते हैं. और तैर के क्यों, वो तो पैदल जाते हैं, इतनी पोल्यूशन है जमुना में. और हमारे ब्रिज के तो नाम ही नहीं होते. हम तो हैं, बस पेरिस में ब्रिज के नाम होते हैं.
कई सैकड़ों साल पुरानी, 500-600 साल पुरानी ये बिल्डिंग्स हैं लगभग.
हाँ, बराबर होगा, बहुत साल पुरानी है बिल्डिंग. ये बिल्डिंग बहुत ही पुरानी है.
अरे रिपोर्टर भाई, खुद नहीं पता और उससे पूछ रहे हो जिससे खुद कुछ नहीं पता. Louvre Museum बना 1793 में, and the original palace was made in the 12th century and expanded several times till the 17th century. Reporters these days so lazy, Google ही कर लेता. You would have gotten more off Wikipedia than your 2 experts gave you. Learn from this multitasking reporter. Dance भी करता है, piece to camera भी करता है, interview के साथ. Because if there is one thing that serves journalism best, is multitasking. Now before I wind up, आप कहेंगे छोटा मुंह बड़ी बात. But our Prime Minister, our country's Prime Minister who won a spectacular majority in last year's election, who is a बड़ा नेता, बहुत बड़ा नेता, he needs to show बड़ापन, यानी बड़प्पन, क्योंकि आप सचमुच बहुत बड़े हैं. On the day Rahul was addressing farmers in the Ramlila Maidan, Modi ji addressed his party workers.
एक बार मेरी रेवाड़ी में एक्स सर्विसमैन का बड़ा कार्यक्रम था. एक चैनल ने, उनके लिए मुसीबत थी, ये दिखाना था नहीं, लेकिन अपने क्लाइंट को जाने नहीं देना था, तो उनके लिए बड़ा और बहुत बुद्धिपूर्वक काम किया उन्होंने. 2003 का मेरा एक वॉक द टॉक था, वो उस दिन साइमल्टेनियस रिलीज किया.
TV channel? Now, who could he be speaking of? Walk the talk? Now, where does that show come? Narrows it down to them. Narendra bhai, you said.
मीडिया की भी बड़ी कृपा थी, सारी टीवी चैनल वहां मौजूद थे.
You yourself say all channels were there, all of them, but one wasn't. इतने आए, हर चैनल पर आपकी वाह वाह हुई, कई महीनों तक हुई, आप ही आप दिखे. आपको वो नहीं दिखा, जो एक नहीं आया आपको वो ही दिखा. और इस बात पे आप और आपके नेता पूरी मीडिया को गाली देते रहते हैं, सबको. आई एम नॉट सेइंग द न्यूज़ मीडिया इज़ परफेक्ट और वंडरफुल. अगर आपको एक नहीं पसंद तो पूरी मीडिया पर उंगली क्यों उठाना? ये वही बात हो गई ना. एक कोई नेता था जो कहता था सारे नेता चोर हैं. अब आप कहते हो सारी मीडिया चोर है. ये शोभा नहीं देता. हमारे पास एक सोल्यूशन है मीडिया को ज़्यादा ऑनेस्ट बनाने का, so that it doesn't serve its corporate or political masters and neither chases advertising bucks at the cost of public service. In a democracy, the media is supposed to be the watchdog. The watchdog is supposed to be independent. But here we find some watchdogs are subservient to their masters. The master provides for your survival. For some people, it is the government, for some it's ads, and for some it's big industrialists. For News Laundry, it's you. Will you pay to keep news free? Also, we had our caption contest, and this week's winner is Devesh Sharma. Congratulations, Devesh. Keep the submissions coming. Remember to participate in our next caption contest to get your name on the next episode of Clothesline. Well, that's a wrap for the week. If you saw any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow, or oh crap, write into us or tweet to us. Subscribe to our newsletter and support our I Pay to Keep News free campaign. We are the change. You are the change, for better or worse. Never do nothing. Stay connected. Stay online. If you enjoyed that, click up here to support us and down here to subscribe. Be sure to check out our older episodes and the other stuff we do, like Can You Take It, I Agree, panel discussions, comics and animations, and much, much more.